Welcome to Civic Warriors, brought to you by Witham. On this podcast, we bring the conversation to you, sharing engaging stories that motivate and build consensus in the nonprofit community. This podcast is about the innovators, the leaders on the front line of adversity, guiding lights in the nonprofit industry affecting change. And through their stories, we can all join forces to become Civic Warriors. Hey, Warriors. Welcome to today's episode of Civic Warriors, brought to you by Witham. I'm your host, Brad Caruso, leader of Witham's not-for-profit practice. So today's guest I'm very excited about is a true civic warrior, someone who is fighting to help those most in need in her local community. Angela Krukowskis is the founder and director of No1Hungryin in EHC, Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. At No1Hungryin in EHC, they believe that no one in the community should go hungry. Their mission is to provide food for the food insecure in the community so that everyone can enjoy the season with a full stomach. They also organize back to school and holiday drives with donated items from their community and do so much more. And so I'm really excited to have you. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I wanted to start out by asking you, what was the catalyst behind starting this organization?
In 2017, my husband got sick. He had his knees replaced and had a heart attack, and they had to resuscitate him. He was in critical condition for several days with only a 5% chance of life. And while I was there, my neighbors sort of took care of my home, my children, mowed my lawn. They were there for emotional support. I wanted to say thank you to my community and give back a little bit of their support of my family. And while we were in the hospital, I just was making deals with the man upstairs about how I could keep my husband. So the pantry was born from him.
There's always a catalyst behind everything. And I think kind of seeing that certainly opens your eyes and says, I want to keep doing something. I want to do something more. And certainly appreciate that. So fast forward to today, talk a little bit about Pantry, talk a little bit about the programs that you have and the work you do.
So we have been here for 6 years. We basically have a telephone booth sized pantry in my front lawn that over the last 6 years has grown to feed about 2,000 people a month from all over Atlantic County, not just Egg Harbor City, but as far as Berlin. We've had people come from Berlin. I know we've taken care of families at Christmas from Toms River down to Cape May. We, like I said, feed 2,000 a month. We also provide back to school clothing, medical equipment for those in need. We do school book drives, school book bag drives, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, any holiday meals. We're just like Johnny on the spot. We're here for everything you need.
Awesome. And what does the demographic look like as far as, resident wise, how the area that you serve, how big is it? How many people exist? 2,000 a month is a lot. Like that's a substantial number of people.
It is. My house is always busy 24 hours a day. There's people from, like I said, all over Atlantic County. The phone never stops ringing. I just looked up some data, and in 2020, which was the beginning of COVID, there was 36,000 people in Atlantic County already on SNAP benefits. And we know that grew incrementally through COVID, and it just hasn't gone back to its norm. I guess here in Egg Harbor City, about 7 miles. I'm not sure how many people live here, but I can tell you how many people shop here, and it just never ends. My porch is an ongoing operation in and of itself. The food comes and the food goes out so fast. And we're driven only by our community members. We don't have any corporate sponsors, anything like that. We're just a town that wants to do better for its people.
Love it. And local volunteer too, right?
And local volunteers. Yes, absolutely.
And, when we talk about, food insecurity in general, clearly, I think as a result of the pandemic, it increased the effect. But why, in your opinion, why do you think food insecurity itself is one of the biggest challenges faced by people? And who do you typically see kind of faced by that challenge?
Oddly enough, we see very regular looking families. We'll take anybody. We don't think that you have to be poor or you have to be homeless to be food insecure. We saw that during the pandemic. People in all incomes, all stages of life, just didn't have enough money, just couldn't work enough, just needed a helping hand. We can't support you totally. We'll never make your meals 7 days a week, but we will definitely ease your burden.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I notice in a lot of the organizations we serve and a lot of the conversations I have, both with food insecurity as well as homelessness, as well as other things, most of the individuals that need supplemented food or supplemented housing, I think, is not who you typically would expect. It could be anybody. It could be your neighbor.
It absolutely is all of our neighbors.
So I think that's why it's so important what you do, and that you also to open your home to others. I think that that's certainly important. Not everybody's willing to do that. So, it just speaks to the testament of the hard work that you're doing and making that happen. As far as items you receive, as for the typical foods that are donated that you think work well.
So mostly with the food pantry, we go through a lot of canned soups, tons of canned soups, macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, oatmeal, cereal. Those are our most needed items. The holiday season is approaching. We'll start going through turkeys and hams and whatever perishables we can get. But we deal mostly in the non-perishable goods. So I wanted to go back, if you don't mind, and tell you a little bit of what we're doing. You asked me before. So in the 6 years, that's how we started out. This year, the last several months, I believe in June, we were donated a 4,100 square foot building right in the center of our town. So we are able to serve way more people. They'll be able to come in, shop for their own necessary goods, shop in quotes, there'll be no charge at the end, but they're able to come in and utilize all of our facilities. We'll have offices upstairs. We'll have a 3-room food pantry downstairs with a large amount of storage. This was a gift from someone in our community, and it has allowed us now to take things to a new level. We have volunteers coming from all over the state, volunteer corporations coming from all over Atlantic County. They're all working very hard. Our contractors are working very hard. Everybody is coming in. So right now we're also in need of more items than just your typical food pantry items. The holidays are coming. We do a Christmas drive. We invite the families of our local children in need to come in and shop for gifts for their children. Each child gets 3 gifts, 3 stocking stuffers, and unlimited amount of books. So we're always happy to take any new or used children's books. Books don't matter if they've been read before. The story never changes. We will take brand new unwrapped Christmas gifts. But right now we're also shopping for items for the new building, light fixtures and anything you can think of that would need to operate a building of this square footage.
That's exciting that you got donated a building, right? I think it's great that you're operating out of your house, but also having a personal space for it. Also probably, might attract more people, going to a centralized location.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for. And then we can start taking some maybe corporate sponsorships and having loading docks and better storage and better facilities. And, we'll just do what we can for our community. We want to boost this community. I've lived here 33 years. I think it's the best place to raise a child, to raise a family. And I wouldn't have it any other way. The ladies and I who make up this group, there's 6 of us gray-haired old women who just had a really good idea, and it took off. And every single one of us loves this town with our whole heart.
Yeah, you could tell, and I don't think you would be doing this if you didn't. And also, you clearly care about the residents of the town. You care about your neighbors. You care about other people. I mean, I think that's phenomenal. What do you think some of the biggest challenges you come across in running, a local food pantry or running, an operation like this, obviously run by volunteers? What are some of the biggest challenges you come across?
Volunteers are not the biggest challenge. That's the greatest thing. A lot of people line up to help. The challenge is finding the money to do it. Finding the money. We've been very, very blessed with our community. Like I said, we've never had a corporate donation until we got a building. We've never had any company offer us food. Every single thing comes from our community. Every item is donated. So it's finding the money. It's finding the product at reasonable prices so that my community doesn't go broke trying to support my community. That is always the biggest challenge.
Without a doubt. And have you seen any help on the government end? I know I always see in the news right now and over the pandemic, there is, funding out there trying to get out there into the hands. What kind of government funding have you seen, heard about, existed? Have you come across, or have you not? Has it not necessarily trickled down to that local level?
We're in the process of applying for some grants offered from Egg Harbor City and then the NPP organization, but that is the only funding that I found like that thus far. But we're learning. We're just learning how to write grants and how to research grants. So it's new to us all.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's definitely important as you continue to scale up to identify sources of consistent funding and ability to, not just have to rely upon only donation, but certainly that's the challenge, right? I think that's the challenge of running
That is the
running a
challenge.
nonprofit. Where do the funds come from? But
That's right.
definitely some great ideas you have there too on sponsorships, on getting people to support it. And it sounds like, just based on the operation you're running, a lot of people do support you. So, or a lot of people will support you, if that ask occurs.
Oh, the support is outrageous. The support has been amazing. All I do is ask. I say I must be the best beggar in town because I just ask. I ask and it shows up, and it's amazing. We started, the first thing we ever had donated was a nebulizer on New Year's Eve at, I don't know, 11 o'clock. Somebody called my phone and was like, my child's sick. It's New Year's Eve. I can't get a doctor. We need a nebulizer. And I put it on Facebook, and within an hour, we had a nebulizer for a sick child. And I thought, well, it didn't hurt to ask. So that's been my motto. I just ask. The worst anybody can say to me is no. But no one ever, very few people say no, not no one, but very few people say no. And I think it's because I'm willing to do the work. We're willing to do the work that no one else wants to do. And I say it all the time, you cannot fire Cinderella. So I just have to be Cinderella and get what we need.
Can you elaborate on where that came from, that you cannot fire Cinderella?
Yeah, I don't remember. It's not my quote. I saw it on a TV or movie or something, and I just thought that's the greatest thing. It's the best way to sum it up. We're doing work that no one else wants to do. No one else, not no one else, but, we ask for one can. We don't ask for large donations. Everybody has a can in the back of the cabinet, and we give them a place to drop it off. It's easy. There's no shame. It's like your friend is coming over for a visit, either to drop off or pick up food. And it just really, one can out of the back of your closet can make such a difference to a person in need. It just doesn't stop. It's just love, and it multiplies.
Yeah, and I think that's the key is both strength in numbers, as well as I think not making it a burden on anybody. I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. Like, I think everybody has a little bit that they can give, even if it is just a can of soup. And honestly, talking about that publicly, like, a can of soup is enough in certain cases. Or if everybody comes together and does that's okay if that's all you can do. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if everybody gives, it makes the world a better place. So I think that's a great point too.
Everybody has something. That's why we do so well when it comes to children who have requests, or a child that wants to play a clarinet. Somebody somewhere has a clarinet in the back of their closet. We've created this following. We're 2,500 people strong on our Facebook group. And all I have to do is say, somebody somewhere, does anybody have a clarinet? And then, you think, oh, okay, my child played one in the 7th grade. Maybe it's still there. It prompts you to clean out your closet, and it gets that child what they need. And it just makes everybody better for it.
Yeah. And what I heard you say too, which I'd like you to elaborate on a little bit, and it seems like you've been using it effectively. So you mentioned using Facebook to really get these needs out there. Are there any other platforms you're using, or how else do you identify, you both identify the need and request it? It sounds like you're very effective at doing that. Can you elaborate a little more on how you do that?
Well, all I ever knew how to do was Facebook. I'm computer inept. So I had Facebook on my phone, and I thought, well, I have a lot of friends, and I think my friends may have gotten sick of me, but I've made a lot of new ones now. And we do have the Facebook site. We are No1Hungryin in Egg Harbor City on Facebook in EHC. We also have a new website. It is www.no1hungryineHC.com. And it's new. It's under works. There's some great volunteer paperwork out there. We're happy to help you have you join our team. There's my email addresses, my telephone numbers out there for all the world to see. We're working on all the other social medias too, but like I said, we're just a bunch of old women who don't know how to use Twitter. So we're learning. We're learning as we go.
So you're using it better than me, because I don't have any of those platforms.
Maybe you're smarter.
I don't know. Yeah. One day I'll figure out the answer to that question. But and I guess do you post the physical address of the pantry on the website, or do you want to disclose, physically where it is or how you get to it?
Yeah, so physically where it is, it's at my home. It's on the front lawn right now at 350 Boston Avenue in Egg Harbor City. You're more than welcome to come use it. We do have a refrigerator on the porch of my home. You are more than welcome to help yourself to anything you need. But our new building hopefully will be up and running before the first of the year, hopefully by December 1. And that's going to be at 231-33 Philadelphia Avenue in Egg Harbor City. We are directly next door to the post office, right in the center of town. I could not ask for a better location. We're going to have parking in the rear. There's street parking in the front, and we'll be handicapped accessible. We'll have everything you'll need. We have a room full of refrigerators and plenty of shopping shelves, and we can't wait to be open.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. Are you going to do like a ribbon cutting or a first day event when you open it?
Of course. Yes, of course. And we have so many community members that came out and volunteered and gave of their talents and their checkbooks. So we also are going to host a large soiree that will invite everyone that came. We intend to give plaques to all of our donors, as well as have a giving tree in our facility, which will be have everybody's names who worked in or gave towards the creation of this building.
Awesome. And so obviously that's a new event coming up. You have a lot of activity coming up with the holidays coming up. What do you see as the next couple years and where you're taking the pantry, or where you're taking this? Where do you see the vision of what you're going to do next?
So I think this is actually going to calm down once the creation of the building and the building is open. It will make our lives a little less hectic of trying to live amongst all the food that's in my living room and the Christmas toys that are in my bathroom. And we'll be able to open up more. We'll have more community outreach. We'll be able to have some children's space, some outdoor garden space. We hope to get some murals painted in our yard and the neighboring yards. We just want to do our best at cleaning up Egg Harbor City and making it a little bit more community friendly.
Love it. And I figure maybe and you shared a couple already, but figure maybe we can wrap up if you have any personal stories or any I'm sure with the amount of people you've encountered or the amount of people you've helped, any personal stories of any individuals you've helped that you'd want to share with the audience.
So, I mean, we've given a lot over the years. We were able to give a single mother not a new car, but a new car to her. And she was able to get her driver's license and take all 4 children to the doctors for the first time. She'd never had the ability to do that. She's since upgraded, but 2 weeks ago, we were gifted another car. So we're working on getting that up to tip-top condition, maybe make another donation to a person in need. What is the best, however, is that when the people who first came to us in need 6 years ago now are back as givers, and they stand behind me. They donate every chance they get to watch other organizations, other food pantries that came after us grow right along with us. That's the most rewarding thing out there. And the children, I got to know so many children in this town. They want to come out. They want to paint the rocks. They want to draw stick figures on the building. And we want them to. So it's really incredible to see the full circle of how you go from being needy to being the one that can help. It can happen to any one of us at any minute. And I say we just get by with a little help from our friends.
Yeah, paying it forward is definitely what fuels the nonprofit industry. And I've seen so many, stories, as you just said, as well as other organizations that I work with, that you have individuals that received assistance along the way, and then they come back and they're the ones providing the assistance along the way. And it's great to see. And, I know I need to send you some sidewalk chalk then, because the kids love drawing with sidewalk chalk. I have a 5 and 7-year-old and they'll be out there for days just drawing on the driveway. If I let them draw in the house, they definitely draw in the house. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, but certainly you're doing God's work out there, helping so many. I think it's phenomenal what you do. I love the stories you shared. I love that, you're really just making this happen, right? I mean, it's putting one foot in front of the other and just making it happen. But Angela, I really appreciate you being on the show, and thank you so much for spending your time with us today. It was awesome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
and listeners out there, thank you for listening. Remember, just anyone can be hungry. Anyone can face hard times. Every opportunity that you get to help your neighbors and your community, I highly encourage everyone to do that. Like Angela here, who, started an organization from scratch and helps thousands of people now. It's incredible. Many organizations, especially No1Hungryin and EHC, operate on a volunteer basis, and they help those that need it the most just to get through their day. We often take for granted having 3 square meals a day. How lucky we are to just have 3 square meals a day, and others aren't so lucky. Others aren't so lucky to even have any meals in the day. So, with the help of Angela and her team and the pantry she runs, and so many people in her community, she's able to feed, provide food, help people, and just provide that family environment, which I'm sure so many people appreciate. So thanks so much for listening. Subscribe and meet us right back here for another episode with them Civic Warriors, and I hope you have a great day.